Greetings YouTube, Kevlar Chicken here. Today I'll be reviewing the MP5K by Umarex CO2 powered air gun. Now this gun is actually officially licensed by H&K, which is always very cool, and I will quickly show you how the gun looks, but first I will show you how it looks in the box as best as I can on this camera because it's just me and my phone. This is the box, it's very nice. Over here it has the standard characteristics and some other more specific data on the back. Now I'm not able to show it very nicely because it's just me and my phone, and honestly I really needed a cameraman probably for this one, but I'll just do my best, so bear with me. Now it comes with this nice little pamphlet that basically in a few languages teaches you how to carry and load / use your gun safely, which is always nice. And I will quickly show you how it comes and its features. Now this is the gun itself. It has a foldable stock, as you can see. It looks very nice. This is the magazine. The way you release it is with this. It's not like the original, but it's still very nice. And just take a look. I will just let you get a good look at it. Now, I will just set this aside here for a moment and talk about the main characteristics of this gun. Now it's sadly it's only semi-automatic, so there is no full auto. Let's get that out of the way. Very disappointed with that, but it would have probably been a lot more expensive. Now I will start with what it comes with. Now basically it comes with this part here, that's the barrel, the muzzle brake, if you will. It's actually detachable, but I prefer how it looks with it. However, this is a very nice detail. This is also a blowback, which means every time you shoot, this part simulates recoil just like on the real thing. Also, you can do the classic H&K slap with this. Hope you can see that, because it's not gonna catch really nicely because it's full black, but I'll do my best to try and show it. So you can slap this. It's a loaded, very cool. The stock is actually foldable, so you can actually shoot it like this. Now this does also come with these little instruments and bolts that are used to mount a small Picatinny rail that comes in the box with the gun. You don't pay extra for it, which I appreciate a lot. And this is how roughly it would look. Now I don't use it because I don't really have anything to mount on it. And the way you load this is you simply pop the pin here, and you can see it goes out to this side, and there's two of these. Now some reviewers say you gotta pop it all the way out. That is not true. As you can see, you can open it up enough with just popping out one pin halfway through. You don't need to pull it out fully, but you can. And you can also pull out this bottom one fully, but you can very well load the CO2 this way. So it's a bit hard when you're trying to do it on camera, because this is where the CO2 goes, and this basically, when you pop this back here, locks it in place, and once you screw this in, it's ready to go. Now I won't be doing that because I will be doing the shooting section perhaps in a separate video, because I want some good weather outside, and right now it feels like it might rain. Now and obviously I just don't want to waste CO2, and I'm not actually planning on shooting, mainly that's the point. You can kind of see the iron sights. Sadly, the iron sights are not actually made out of iron, and one of the complaints that people often get about this gun is that it's very plasticky, which is true, but it still has weight to it. All of the important parts are made out of metal. For example, these pins that, you know, if they break, it's actually, you know, you won't be able to load your CO2 properly. They're actually metal. The trigger is actually metal. This here that you will want to slap is metal. The small, all of the internals, as you can see, are metal. When you pull out the mag, you can see the other internal parts that are actually, you know, vital to this gun operating are metal. So the main parts that need to be metal are metal. Also, this thing here that holds the foldable handle, a pretty sizable chunk of metal. Now what this gun also comes with is another type of handle. You can see this is also a pin that can be tightened for CO2. Alex, I'm not sure I'm explaining this well, but you can basically, hopefully you can see, pop this here and pops out the back here. And so does this little pin over here. There's two of them. And you can actually take them off fully, but it will probably be easier this way. And you can take this off. You can take the foldable stock off. Although I don't recommend it, it shoots a lot better with it. If you can shoulder it, it's a lot more accurate. But you can also get this here and pop it back. Also, there is place for a rifle sling on this and on this part. There is also a handle grip. You don't need to grip it on the mag, and it feels a lot more comfortable. So that's another feature that this has. Now, as you can see, it's just your typical safety and fire, and it's ambidextrous. The caliber is standard for BB guns, as you can see, 4.5mm or 0.177mm. Now, what does it take? Well, your standard BBs and your standard CO2. The way the magazine loads is also pretty standard. You just push this down, and there is a little catch here. You load your BBs by pressing this down, otherwise they won't fall, and then you press this back up again. There's a little knot here, and it goes all the way up. Now if there are BBs, it will only be pushing them a bit so they can load. Now, I will put the other characteristics more in tuned down in the description, where I will be able to order them better than I am with talking, but mainly this is a very standard gun. It has 3 joules energy, so roughly 400 feet per second. It's a little slower because of the blowback. It uses extra CO2, but it's not overdone. It's semi-auto. One thing I forgot to mention is the magazine capacity is actually 40 rounds, not 30, which is very nice because when you're shooting in semi-auto, if you're trying to go by fast, even though there is no full auto, it goes by very fast. Also, this is plastic, but it's very thick plastic and very nicely done. A lot of people have pointed this out. Now, I would also like to point out that this is held up very well. I've shot probably over 1,000 BBs, like no joke. Actually, definitely over 1,000, and nothing's happened to it. And the guy at the gun shop told me if you take good care of this and you oil it and you clean it once every like a few hundred shots, it can last for years. I was actually surprised. I thought CO2 guns were a bit more crappy, like I thought they break easily, especially the more complex ones, but no. This actually lasts quite a bit, and it has lasted without any problems. It's fairly accurate. It's not super accurate. My Luger is more accurate, but it does have simulator recoil, which you don't really feel, but you wouldn't feel that much on the real thing either. It's only 9mm and it's fairly heavy for a pistol. I mean, it looks a bit more like something in the middle between a rifle and a pistol, but it's definitely a pistol. And it's a bit more of a SMG type thing, but if you look at closely at the construction, you will realize it's just a bulked up pistol. Now, like I said, 40 round magazine, standard energy, semi-automatic, 4.5mm, and it does come with all these extras, like 2 different types of basically stock. You can shoot it with a stock and no stock, which is nice. You can put the Picatinny rails on, and if you want, and you don't have to buy this separately, or the Picatinny rails, the thing you want to mount on it, yeah, you will have to buy that separately. Now, and the other cool thing, this is officially licensed by H&K, because otherwise, you know, I think it wouldn't be legal, but I think it's very awesome for gun collectors to know that their replica piece is licensed by the official gun company. Obviously, this is not a toy, don't use it as such. And yeah, I will put the other characteristics down below. I think I went through over all of them. I haven't really found anything that I can mount on this, but I don't really want to. And my only complaint is that there isn't a fully automatic variant. That's maybe a more expensive one that's full auto, because it is an SMG. You would expect it to come in full auto, like it's one of the things it's famous for. It's a little bit disappointing. Like, I can completely understand making one that's not full auto, that's more affordable, because it looks really cool, but you can also make the same but with full auto and just make a more expensive version that maybe people who have more money can buy, and the others who just want the look can buy this one. Now, blowback CO2 guns, they're famous for spending more CO2 on the blowback action, meaning every time you shoot, this reciprocates and it's wasting air, basically moving this little steel part so you can feel the recoil. That's honestly not that bad. You get 2 full mags, especially if you're not if you're shooting in warm summer weather like it is right now, and especially if you manage to tighten the CO2 quite fast, like I've actually learned how to do. That way I waste very little CO2. But that's still 80 shots on something that's a blowback and a 40 round mag. 2 mags or 80 shots. If you want to be on the safer side, load the second one with maybe only 30 shots. But I'm pretty sure you can get 70 shots with reasonable power, like enough to go through a small aluminum Coca-Cola can or something of that sort, which you might be shooting at. Do be careful for ricochets. I use steel BBs, but I also have eye protection. If you can get your hands on, take the copper ones. And overall, I would give this a 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, it could have been a 10 out of 10, even if it was more expensive, as long as it just had a full auto version.